Hey, this is Ron's Woodturning. Welcome back. I got a quick little project today. I'm going to make a deer grunt call for one of the managers at work's godson, and he wants to use it this weekend. So I told him I would. They're easy to make, and I'm going to film it, so y'all should be able to figure it out too. He gave me some of that sinker cypress. And this is just a small piece of it. And it's not very pretty. But he hadn't got to the heart yet. This is just like a cut off of the end. So I don't expect it to be like spectacular looking, but it turns easy. It's easy to work. It stays together. And it polishes up good. So it should make a pretty grunt call. So he's going to give me a big enough piece to make a salad bowl whenever he gets it out of his sawmill. So without further ado, I've already cut some blanks off the end. I have one on the mandrel now. I'm going to do the barrel part, and I got the guts, and I got a brass band, and the bellows. So we're going to make a grunt call. So here it is on my small lathe, and it's got a 5/8 bore, and I have it on my 5/8 mandrel tightened up. I'm going to make it round, put a little shape to it, put a band on it, polish it all up real nice, and then I got the second piece. It's a 1/2 inch bore, but it's not quite a 1/2 inch, it's 31/64. If you make it a 1/2 inch like the kit says, the guts are too loose. So I always make it a little tinier, and that way they fit tight and they sound better. Alright, I'm going to make this round, and then I'll figure out what shape I want. This is the mouthpiece end right here, and the band's going right here. Okay, so the band fits nice, but I'm not going to put it on yet because it'll get scratched up when I do all this sanding here. So I'm just going to put a little shape here, and I got some tear outs on this cypress, maybe even, I don't know, not wormholes, but it's just missing stuff. So I'm probably going to throw some sawdust in there and patch those up before I go too far with it. Because it's okay. I mean, it's sinker cypress. There ain't much to it, but it sure is easy to turn. Alright, I got a little Yorkshire grit on there, and I got some voids, but I'm going to leave them. I think they look cool. And it did kind of bring out a few little different colors, so it won't be that bad after all. Let me let this Yorkshire grip work. And I might have to reburn those lines. I sanded them off. I should have known better. Oh well. It'll take me a second. Run it up to 3,000, they'll burn on there pretty quick. Nothing like the smell of burning cypress. Woohoo! Alright, so I'm going to flip it around and finish the inside of that mouthpiece. You know what? Let me check my band first. Yeah, that's perfect. I got about a 32nd of an inch sticking past it. So I'm going to flip it around and finish the mouthpiece. It won't take me a second. Alright, well here's a close-up of it. Now I gotta just put the band on, and then I'll work on the gut end. Now I'm going to use super glue, and I want it to stick, so I'm going to take a little file and just score this up. Put jagged lines in it all the way around. That'll help it stick. There we go. And I put it up close to the front because it's going to slide on kind of hard. And this is medium, so it's going to give me time to play with it a little bit. Okay, there we go. It's on. Now to do the small end, I have to take this mandrel off. I have a 1/2 inch mandrel just like this, but I didn't drill it a 1/2 inch. I drilled it 31/64, so it won't fit on here. So I have to use the squishy pillow thingies, and I'll show it to you in a second. Alright, so this is what I was talking about. This little pillow here, when you squish it, and this live center here has got a hole through it, so I want this to be the bellows end and this end to kind of match up with the band. So I have to make this end fit inside this hole and this end fit into the plastic bellows, which is this piece here. Alright, so it's squished on there. It wiggles a little bit, and you really can't do the turn around thing, or at least it's going to be a little off. So I'm going to try to finish it all at once, polish it and everything else before I take it off the lathe. But again, I'm just going to make it round. Then I'm going to shrink this side, and this side is going to have a hump right here about the same diameter as this hump right here. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so you can see I had to doctor up a crack, but anyway, I drew a line here and a line here. That's on this end is where that bellows is going to fit. And I'll put a little bead right on the end because this bellows has a little snap or a little groove right there. So I want the end of it to kind of stick out so it just snap in place, then it don't fall off while you're hunting. This end I'm going to put a couple of grooves in here for an O-ring so that I have an O-ring fit up inside the barrel. Alright, so you can see what I did to this end. I left that lip right there, and this bellows is going to push on there and snap, and it ain't going to come off. I hadn't messed with this end yet because I forgot a critical step, and let me show you what I did. Because I'm already so small and so thin, and depending on the wood, the thinner you make this, the more fragile it is. So when I made this grunt call, I drilled out the end to 3/4. This one's still at 5/8. So I got to put this one back on the lathe and drill it 5/8 to about that depth right there, so that I can leave this thicker and still have room to cut an O-ring groove in it so that it fits like this. See, I got them double O-rings. That way it doesn't ever get loose, and you just replace the O-rings whenever they get wore out. So before I finish this, I got to take all this back off, put the other mandrel back on there so I can drill this out 3/4. Alright, I sanded it and polished it. It's ready to take off of here and put together. Alright, so here's a snap bit. Well, might be a little big. Okay, so glad y'all could join me. Putting the guts in is pretty easy. You gotta have this part, this little small O-ring, and the reed, and the wedge. So I found the easiest way to do it is to leave the wedge for last. Go ahead and put this small O-ring on there first. And you just put it on. Slide it all the way up to the last notch. I like the reed sticking out about that much. And then I'll take the caul, and the wedge is at an angle slightly. Put that in there first to where it's sticking out like that, and then put the reed in, and then mash them both together, and you got it. Alright, glad y'all could join me for another Ron's wood turning. Again, thank you for those that have subscribed to my channel. I really appreciate it, and like and subscribe this one too. So y'all have a great day. And I forgot to show y'all the end product. There it is. Sinker cypress from the Mississippi River. So, again, have a great day. Thank y'all for visiting Ron's Wood Turning Shop.